Hey, Aloha Offline Sharks. Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the call. What's up, Nick?
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. We are excited you're here. We have a fantastic live show lined up for you. We got some special guests. We got some shout outs. We got a lot of stuff going on today, Nick. I think the best thing to do is to cue the intro, and then we'll be back in a few minutes to get this party started.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Listen to that crowd out there, Nick. They are fired up. They are ready to go. Sure. Yeah, I was finally able to find a new T-shirt to wear. I don't know if you guys can see this for the live show. I've been on a T-shirt drought. I've been looking everywhere and haven't been able to find any good ones. But finally found a good one.
You found a good one. It says, what does it say?
It says,
are you doing good?
Do good. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure Bill Marks would love that. Bill, I hope you're watching this.
Yeah. Just a little subtle reminder to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Nick, I saw in the Facebook group the other day that you posted on some new clients that you brought in through the agency. Yeah.
It's kind of like been client getting season. In my opinion. What's everybody else think? Give me some feedback, everybody. How has your prospecting been going? Have you been getting any new customers? It's Friday, so hopefully you got at least one customer this week. But let us know in the comments. And if you haven't gotten any customers, what have you been doing specifically to try to get more customers? What are those revenue producing activities that we always talk about here in your business to get more customers right now? Are you reaching out to people? Are you sending emails? Are you making phone calls? Are you hiring somebody to do all that stuff? Because yeah, it's as Tom mentioned. So if I'm recapping, man, I just paid our contractors, right? Like I have a project manager in the business. We have contractors that build websites, that run ads, that do the various things that we do with to fulfill like search engine optimization, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So get ready for that. But I just paid like a commission to my project manager for like $4,000 on commissions for websites and running ads. And that's an awesome thing, right? To be able to like pay somebody else to help you do all that stuff, but also just to like bring somebody into the fold so they can make money too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I snuck this in about the clients you picked up this week to tie in really well with the Shark shout outs, right? Because every week we like to recognize people that are doing anything. And if here, let me share my screen so I can pull up the shout outs for you. Because you'll see on our Shark shout out list, there you are, Mr. Nick Ponte. We know you've been feeling left out. You're never on there.
I know.
Had the team stick you on there. But like this is what you did over this week, right? $1,000 a month plus a $300 setup, Google Ad Management. You closed a $4,000 website deal and an $800 a month Google Ad Management. Also collected the $500 in ad spend.
Yeah. And then actually, L had closed another website deal the day before yesterday for a activity company. They do like kite surfing lessons in Ka'anapali side. And that was, I think that was a $5,000 website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that ties in to what we're going to be talking about on the live show today too, because, we do a lot of websites in the agency, but the way we build in that recurring, there's a couple of services we use, right? Google Ads is one, but another big one is SEO. And today we're actually going to be talking a little more about the case study that we brought to you guys on, what was that, Wednesday the 20th? How many people on this call right now were on that case study webinar? Let me know in the comments. Because, it was awesome. Like it was a real behind the scenes look at what it takes to a case study of how they 19 keywords on page 1 with just 5 backlinks. It was really awesome to see. It was like somebody put in the comments of that training, Nick, that it was a masterclass in SEO.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw a lot of really, really good feedback coming in from it too, which I'm excited to talk more about. But yeah, like as you mentioned, websites are really just our foot in the door, right? Websites, I mean, I personally, and I know this is the same for you, Tom, like we never thought of ourselves as like, we're going to be like the top web designers in Maui or in the world or whatever, right? Like that was never like the end game, right? But, you know, just being fully transparent, everybody, like I can't get away from websites, but they really do lead into some beautiful things, which is running ads, doing SEO, doing different ways to get, you know, your foot in the door with these customers. Because the thing about websites is they're perishable, right? Like over time, they need to be refreshed. They need to be updated. Technology changes. You know, if they're a business that's trying to rank in Google and they don't like do anything to update their site, well, their rankings could fall because their competitors could be doing things to do search engine optimization. So as you can imagine, you know, as people build websites, I think my camera just freaked out. As people build websites, they have to go back and update them from time to time, right? And that just means more opportunity, more jobs for you.
Yeah, I've always argued for a long time in our community that, you know, if you're new starting out or you don't really know what service to offer, that websites is such a great service because you're more likely to run into people that are going to need help with that, right? And interestingly enough, you know, on the case study that we did Wednesday, it wasn't just the SEO aspect of things that I thought was so amazing. It was the fact that the tool that they really showcased was really a way to manage a lot of websites all at one time, not only do their SEO, but do things like schema and stuff like that. If you haven't watched the case study, you should go watch that. But we do have our guests on here today too. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So I don't want to give away too much right now. But, you know, speaking of SEO, you'll see in the middle there, our Megalodon shark, Dorn Brenton, he secured an SEO client this week, $14.97 plus a $500 setup. The monthly is being discussed, low end $297, high end $697. So an awesome SEO deal.
Hell yeah. That I saw a post that he made like right before he actually landed that deal where he said, it was kind of like a joke where people say the response to people that might be interested in buying SEO are always like, I didn't realize SEO was so expensive, or I can get it for cheaper, which is, I mean, there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to do something for cheaper, but doesn't mean that you're going to get a better result, right? And then 10 minutes later, I saw Dorn landed the project, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great. Congratulations, Dorn.
Congrats,
Our
Dorn.
final shark shout out today goes to Johnny Ortega. He sold his first ad spot for his first mailer, $300. So every week people have been having traction with SEO, with the mailers, a lot of the stuff that we talk about inside of Offline Shark. So man, we want to see everybody on these shout outs. So if you're watching this live and you haven't been featured on one, let's take some action. Let's make a commitment next week. Let's take some action. Let's hit the ground running. Look at all the resources you have in the community to ask what they're doing, how they're doing it, how they're reaching out. The tools are there, right? You just got to pick them up and take a few steps, and we could see you on the shout outs as well. Speaking of seeing you on the shout outs, if you go to the link that's on your screen right now, offlinesharks.com/shout outs, and leave a comment on this post. I already see some people in there. Jacqueline, Bill, Dorn. Leave a comment. Say, hey, congratulations. Way to go, guys. What we're going to do at the end of this stream is we're going to just pick some people at random and we're going to send them some cash. Pretty simple. So go there, tell them good job, and you could end up winning some cash as well.
That's right. We do it every week. We do it every week a few times.
Every week. Yep. So, you know, out of those shout outs, Nick, just so you know, that's just under $9,000. It's like $8,890 something in closed business from this previous week. So really awesome to see that traction and see all the success people are having. So yeah, good work, everyone. Give you some applause.
And I always say this too, that like that's just of the people that we know about, right? There are so many like people on the fringe that don't even like, that have been in there since when did we start the group? 2019? there have been people in the group. We get emails regularly that have been like, "Hey, I've been in your group since it started, basically." And I've never made a comment. I've never made a post. But like even just today, I saw somebody sent an email saying how much money they made with local fee finder and their new client that they just got. And they've been a part of our group for a really long time and never said anything. So, so those are just the people that we know about, right? That's how I usually am too. Like when I'm in a Facebook group, I very rarely post. I usually just sit and watch, which is kind of a lame thing to do.
You're a lurker?
Yeah, I'm just kind of a lurker.
You're a lurker?
But if you go in there and you like, shoot a video and introduce yourself and stuff like that, it's such a better way to participate. I mean, I participate in our group, but I don't really participate in a lot of other groups. I'm just kind of there.
Well, our group is busy enough. You don't need to participate in any other groups.
Exactly.
Like it's enough. Hey, one more thing I want to do before we bring out our guests, because I want to get into the shop talk, right? Like I want to get into some actionable things people can take from this live, maybe educate them in some way about SEO, about what these guys are doing, why we brought them to the community, because when we saw what they were doing, it's pretty slick. But before we do that, we have one more thing we need to do. Actually, two more things. So the first thing we need to do is we need to celebrate our That's right, our member of the week. So I wanted to give a big shout out to our member of the week. This is somebody who has a milestone, an accomplishment, or they're a good steward of the Offline Sharks community. We like to celebrate them. Members of the week, we send them some special shark swag. It's really an awesome award to win. And this week, our member of the week is, Nick, can you give me a drum roll? Give me a drum roll. This week, our member of the week is Mr. Johnny Ortega for taking action and securing his first client this week for the mailer. Way to go, Johnny. Yeah, if you guys can let Johnny know in the stream, great job. Way to go. I'm sure he would appreciate that. And again, Johnny, somebody from our team will reach out to you. Got some special shark swag coming your way. Excellent job. Way to take action. Way to get some results. And we appreciate you sharing it in the group and being a solid member of the Offline Sharks Facebook group. So thanks a lot, man.
That's really awesome. I'll never forget that first client, I'll never forget that. What was your first client?
Never forget your first, Nick, ever.
Yeah. What was your first client?
Forever.
What was your industry that your first client was in?
Gosh, my very first client. Holy cow. What industry was she in? I think she was an accountant.
Yeah, an accountant.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been a few days back. That's been a few days back.
Yeah. It's been a little while, huh?
Yeah. Well, as you guys know, I'm a little bit older than Nick there.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, you're 30s, right? Young 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 48.
Nah, I think some people think you're my younger brother.
I'm 48, man. I'm going to be knocking on the door of 50 here before too long.
Oh, shit.
Half a hundy. I don't know what I'm going to do then. Hey, one more thing we need to do before we bring our guests out, Nick. We need to, hold on, let me find where this is at. We need to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
We need to give away some Cash App money. And we'll give away some more at the end.
I just saw the notifications go out for this stream. So the people that weren't here ahead of the stream, ahead of the notification, man, they're missing out on the first Cash App money song. So you guys.
I know. Well, I was looking at how many people were on here, and I was like, man, that number seems kind of low.
Put this on your calendar. Make sure you show up like you have it in your calendar. Don't wait on the notifications to come to the stream. It pays to show up early and hang out from the beginning to the end. So anyway, Cash App song, Cash App money. So I'm going to ask a question real quick. We're going to give away some money, and then we're going to bring out our guests. So the first person to ask this question correctly is going to get some Cash App money. So the question is, what is the name of our software that we use to pre-qualify our clients here at Offline Sharks? It's a good question. That's
a good one, because I think you actually mentioned it earlier in the stream.
I did.
You did. No, Don, it is not #Kevin.
No.
Yes, Norm, we can see you. Oh, I think, hold on. I don't know who this is below Don. Can somebody from the team tell me who that is?
Cool. Well, that's our winner.
Here,
Awesome.
Here. Let's pick one more. I'm just going to pick somebody at random. I'm just going to look down out of the people that got it right.
Somebody's like, crap.
I'm just going to pick somebody at random. Let's do Wayne Gilchrist.
Man, Wayne always wins.
He's
always winning. Yeah.
Well,
It's all right. It's all right, Wayne. We still love
I
you,
haven't
man.
seen Wayne in a while. And whoever that first person is on their team, find them, track them down, social media stalk them, and give them some cash.
All right. Good stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, well, let's get our guests out here because I want to spend some time talking to them about the case study we did, about some of the other things that we had going with that. And Nick, why don't you do a little intro for them?
Oh, you want me to do a little intro? Okay. So yeah, our guests. What can I say about these guys, man? How long have we known them for?
So, it's interesting because we were talking about this on the case study like before we started. So when Nick and I were just getting Offline Sharks going, and
we were just two little guppies. We were just
kind of doing our little baby sharks, just kind of like swimming around, like not really knowing what we were doing. These guys were the first guys to reach out to us and be like, "Hey, we've been watching what you're doing. We like what you're doing. We'd love to talk to you guys." And so we started up a friendship then, and man, we got to meet. Well, we've got to meet one of them in person, not the other one yet.
No, I've met the other one. I hung out with the other one. The other one. We'll just call him the other one. These guys are awesome. These guys are awesome. We've known them for a while. We've hung out with both of them.
Yeah, and if you're coming to New York, if you're one of the Sharks that's going to show up for the Shark event in New York, you're going to get to meet them too, or at least one of them.
At least one of
them, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. Let's bring them on.
All right. Let's do it. It's Mr. Todd Spears and Arnold Schwarzenegger. How you doing, Arnold?
What's up? How's it going, Nick and Tom?
Oh, what's up, Herc? People on the training were like, I had this picture of Herc when he was, a rock and roll guy, and then one as an SEO guy. And people were like, we want to hear him play a riff.
Yeah,
the comments are blowing up. I see all the music stuff behind you. It's awesome.
So you guys, back when we first, and I want to stress this. I know a lot of people out there, they're in the affiliate internet marketing space, and they're like, my friend just came out with a new product. My friend has it, and they're not really like friends, right? But we're actually friends. Like, we, on a regular basis, the four of us have a friendship, meet up with each other regularly, shoot the shit, strategize on different things. I mean, so one of the reasons that we're here today is because we have this relationship, we have this friendship, and you guys are doing some insane things and you have been for a really long time. It's kind of the foundation of what we've started on is in the search engine optimization space. But for those of everybody that are with us now, I don't even know if they maybe we get a little background on you two. Like, how did you guys meet? When did you join forces and start this thing?
Well, Arnold.
When did you become governor of California?
Tom, I remember when I reached out to you guys, and it was April of 2016.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like we had just started doing stuff.
That's when Tom was 35.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so what about you guys? You guys have been, working together for a while now. Was it always SEO? Is that how you kind of started and joined forces?
Yeah, pretty much. That was it. We were in another Facebook group for a couple of years, but we didn't really interact too much in there. But that particular Facebook group was doing some events across the U.S., and one of them happened to be here in Dallas, Texas. And I was there because I live here in Dallas. And so me and some other guys from the group got together and went up there to this Omni Hotel. And, we're just hanging out. It was really crowded. There were a lot of people there. It was really big. and I was kind of hanging out in the back. And then one of the guys I was with, his name is Derek, who's just an exceptional SEO. Like, this guy is on another level in a lot of cases. I still keep in touch with him too. He's a really great guy. But anyway, I'm back there in the back, and I went to the event with him. He's from Canada as well. And we're just hanging out, and then all of a sudden he brings Arnold and his fiance over to the table and introduced us. And we just kind of started chit-chatting there for a second, and yeah, that's exactly how we met. And Herc just was briefly saying that he uses some of my software that I had been developing over the years, and that he loved it. And then he had something going on, and he would like for me to look at it and let me know what I thought. And I was like, yeah, sure, let me know, hit me up. And then and that was kind of it. It was really short and sweet, man. He didn't hang around and beat me over the head or anything. He just kind of said a few things. I talked to Tennille for a minute, and then they kind of journeyed off. And then the next day or two, he reached out again. He was like, hey, I wanted to show you this. And so we started a communication there. And at one point I just said, hey man, just get on Skype and let's I'll give you, I got some time here, about half an hour. Show me what you're talking about. And so we set it up, and we got together on Skype, and that call lasted for about 3 hours, believe it or not.
Jeez.
And I was just so impressed with what he had to show me, and I had never seen it before. And at that time, I had been in SEO since 2004, and Herc had been in probably 3 or 4 years at that point, I think. But the level of genius that I was staring at, I just just kind of fell in love with that process. And that's where we started. And that was in October of 2015 when we decided to just, let's do this and let's develop this and get it going. So that's how we started.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that, we've always been super impressed with you guys about is like I've been at, or Tom and I have been at a mastermind event where people like talk about the software and the stuff that you guys build, right? Like, it's not just like you're not even there and they're talking about it. You know what I mean? So your stuff has a reputation for just crushing it. And I know the reason, and the reason is because you guys are always out there testing, and you have this history of doing SEO where for some reason I feel like a lot of people kind of like they do it for a little bit and they make a little money and then they like fall off the map, and they kind of sell themselves short, because like the longer you're in the game, the more experience you have, the more you like get an idea of how these like algorithms and SEO works, and you see these trends and you're able to do new and exciting things. And which kind of leads us to where we're at. Like there's this, and I'm gonna ask you this, Herc, this kind of keyword, this buzzword, like how did you land on all this? What you're doing now. Where did this start?
On a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Because I'm crazy about spreadsheets. I always have.
He is. I can verify that.
Yeah, I love being organized, and I love like opening up one document and I get a big picture of everything that's going on. And it kind of started with a spreadsheet because as I kind of progressed through SEO, I learned a lot, right? And I made my breakthrough on keyword research through Alex Becker. Actually, kind of set my mind right on what good keyword research, and then started learning about PBNs through Todd and Greg Morrison in the OMG group, and then started learning, about the importance of on-page optimization. And I used to just try to target a single keyword, like EMDs. I've always used EMDs. They just got a good ranking boost, but I was only ever targeting a single keyword. And I was like, I should really start trying to target more keywords, and then just going down that rabbit hole. And then I learned this process for writing, targeting multiple keywords, where if I took all the keywords that I wanted to rank into a deduplicator spreadsheet or text tool, and it removed all the duplicate words, I was left with a list of words that encompassed all the keywords I was trying to target. And then I'd be like, well, I just write a sentence that includes all these words, and that should be pretty good optimization, right? And try this out. And sure enough, it worked really good. So I'd build this spreadsheet that for every page on my website that I wanted to build, I'd have like a little plan with here's what my title's going to be, my description, my URL, my H1, here's the keywords I'm going to target. And then I would do that. I used to call it keyword boiling. I would boil down my list of keywords to single words, and then I'd optimize for those words. And I used to do all this stuff manually on a spreadsheet. I'd look up all the broad phrase and title and URL, and eventually I got to the point where I was like, look, this really works. I was building little affiliate and AdSense websites back then. They were all making like $500,000 a month. And I built this tempered screen glass protector one, started getting like 2,000 hits a day. And I was like, man, this process like really works, right? So that's when I went from, just being a pure like SEO to I need to develop this spreadsheet into a WordPress plugin to like help me automate these lookups and stuff like that. And I went down the development road on my own before I met Todd. And then when I had that ready, that's when I met Todd. And we've obviously taken it. That was what, six years ago, I guess it was. And then we've, continually developed this one initial piece of software that was born from a spreadsheet into, the software company that we have today, and kind of progressed along the way, the whole way to, let's this part of my process is important. It can be automated. Let's add it to the software. Well, this is important. Let's add it to the software. And kind of started down there, and now we call it keyword cloud optimization, which is probably smarter just because of the tool we use to do it.
And that's the buzzword I was looking for.
Yeah,
Tom,
keyword cloud. I used to call it boiling, but now we have.
Tom, you look like you had something to say.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was going to point out was, if you haven't watched the case study that we did on Wednesday yet, the case study obviously is a showcase of the tool that Todd and Herc have built, which is a really awesome tool. But I think the real value, like the tool is super valuable, right? You guys, you made a great tool. You can tell that it was born from somebody actually doing this stuff because it's got all the things that if you're actually doing it, you would need and want. But I think more importantly about that case study wasn't just like seeing the software tool in action, but it was actually getting to watch you, Herc, go through your process. And if you go back and watch that, if you watched it before, if you go back and watch that webinar again, you'll see Herc going through his entire process. So, whether you use that software tool or not, or if they had, it was really awesome because you guys are real upfront right out of the gate. Like, look, we're going to be using this tool. We're going to give you a special offer at the end, all that stuff. But, we're going to focus on the process too. And I think if you go back and watch that case study, that's what you can really pull from it. That process that Herc uses, right? And you can do it manually, or you can use the tool they have, but being able to understand that process of how he goes from, okay, this is how we find a keyword. This is what makes it good. This is what makes it bad. This is what people are missing. Here's how I do that. That keyword cloud optimization I thought was awesome. I mean, when you got to that part of the webinar, I thought that was awesome. And then on top of all of that stuff, right, there was the schema, how that fits into everything. And then, of course, how do you stay organized with all this stuff, and how do you keep things running smoothly and, without a lot of upkeep and work on your part? Because when you have lots of clients, or you have lots of sites going, when you're doing lots of different things, it can get overwhelming, right? But Herc has a great process for keeping all of that stuff straight. And he's built it into this amazing tool that basically just does it all for you, the tracking, the keyword, all that stuff. So it was a really great case study. I don't want to give too much away about the process because I want people to go watch the case study. And we'll put the link on here towards the end of the show. But that maybe you can talk a little bit, Herc, about what the cloud optimization is. I mean, I know you mentioned it kind of in general, right? Like finding these other keywords, but why do you think that makes such a big difference over people that are just doing typical keyword stuff?
I think because it's knowing, it's optimizing with intention, right, and data. Whereas I think a lot of people, and even myself at the beginning, I know what keyword I wanted to target, and I'd put that in my title, and then I'd what do I write on the back half of my title? Best this or that, or sometimes I'd try phone numbers, and I was never really focused, or I never really knew what the best thing to put there. And when I started, really trying to, I want to target lots of keywords on every page, not just one page, because really what we're all after is money. Money comes from supplying business with leads. Leads comes from traffic. Traffic comes from ranking, and ranking comes from the keywords that you choose, right? So you work all the way backwards, and it comes down to, okay, the keywords that I choose, now how do I optimize for them? Should this keyword be targeted on this page or that page? And if I have a page like in that case study, I show you guys like on the home page of 3 different sites, I'm targeting like over 10 keywords, right? All with good search volume. Well, how do I optimize and rank for all those variations of all those keywords on a single page when, you know, there's a lot of words going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. And that's really where that keyword cloud comes in, because it almost writes your titles and your descriptions for you, because you just start with, you know, the title, put your main keyword you're targeting first in your title. The back half, you know, do that word cloud optimization. It'll boil all the keywords down. It'll tell you what their leftover keywords that you're trying to target are. You just make a sentence, spin it up for your description, be intent with your H1, like use your main keyword with a bit of description, so you get a fully optimized title for all the keywords of that group. And then not only that, like that group of keywords becomes like your alt tags, your H1 tags. If you're building backlinks, knowing what your anchor text should be, that they'll still have diversity. There's a lot of LSI stuff. And when Google looks at the whole big picture of everything, right? Your titles, your URLs, descriptions, your H1, your content, your image optimization, and your backlink anchor text, there's no question in their mind what that page content is about. And the rankings reflect that, and the number of backlinks that it takes to get those rankings is really reflected in that. And I show that in the case study as well, where my site is ranking number 1 for 12 keywords. It's ranking, first page for 12 keywords, number 1 for the 3 main keywords. And I show the difference between the power of my site according to Moz, right? Like the backlink profile versus the rest of the top 10. And I'm the weakest site up there. And this happens to me all the time. I'm always the one with the least amount of backlinks, but I'm ranking above the maps even. That's how much intention Google is saying, this is important. This is exactly what you're looking for. And the reason I can do less links is because everything else on page is so focused that there's no question in Google what this page is about. And when someone searches that keyword, Google's like, this is a very, very relevant result. So it's just so much focus, so much intention, and then, you know, less backlinks that get me these kind of results. And then the only other comment I would say is no one else that's on the first page is doing this kind of stuff, right? They don't even know these businesses, right? The local businesses, not even the Yelps or the Home Advisors, but the actual local businesses that I'm competing against on the first page. They either have bad SEOs, they're trying to do their SEO themselves, but they don't have the experience and the knowledge that we have. So they're spending all this money and time on citations, backlinks, social profiles, fortresses, whatever it is that these guys are doing or having their SEO companies are doing. They're wasting time, they're wasting money because I'm doing so much less and I'm literally kicking their ass and for tons of keywords, and it's all because of this process. Yeah,
that's a huge point I've been wanting to really try to hammer home as well, is that when Google comes after your site and takes you out of the rankings, it's usually your backlink profile that does you in, not your on-page optimization. It's your backlink profile that they're really, really going to come after you for. And you know, I've been saying this for years now about backlinks: is less is more, and on-page is key. Mm-hmm. And once you do your on-page, you know, follow Herc's process with our tool, without our tool, that will get you so much far ahead of the game. And then when Google goes and kicks all the rest of the guys off first page, that just makes you more powerful because of their, you know, they try to, you know, basically game the system with backlinks. I mean, we've all done that. I mean, it was easy back in the day, but Google's gotten so much smarter with Penguin that came out, and they're just continuously improving that, you know, that backlink filter that they have on there, you know. So definitely on page is what you really, really should be focused on, because we all know how to buy backlinks. We all know how to build, you know, tier it and pillow it and do all these fancy schmancy backlinking things, thinking that's what's going to get you there. And you know what? Sometimes it does. But I promise you that the day when Google puts the hammer down on that particular niche, they're going to look at all those backlink profiles. It's not that hard for a computer to figure it out. So
yeah, well, I thought one of the biggest eye-opening things from that case study was like how you guys really have like, I mean, like you're doing SEO the way people say SEO can't be done, right? Like whenever somebody tells you about SEO, and like we've even talked about this too, right? Like, okay, well, what you do is you go look at everybody that's ranking, you see how many backlinks they have. Now you know how many backlinks you need to beat them. Now you know what you need to do here. But like Herc showed in that case study, a couple of instances, like he said, where, I mean, his site was not only brand new, but it had the lowest page authority, it had the lowest domain authority. And again, he's above the maps, he's above the Yelps, he's above the Angie's List, like just crushing all those people that are, quote, doing SEO right? But his process was just putting him above. And that was like, I mean, that got me fired up about SEO, right? Because sometimes you think about SEO and you think, I'm going to have to do all this work. And I mean, obviously the niches, all that stuff factors into it, the competition, but like just seeing that it's possible to do that. And even on that case study presentation, like Herc just randomly was like, oh, wow. I mean, do you think like, because one of the questions I had when it started is like, well, maybe Herc found the one niche, the one keyword that showcases this, right? But are there any others? Like he's probably got the only one. You couldn't do this on scale, but right on the training, Herc found another one that nobody had even owned the domain, right, Herc?
2. Or was it
2?
1?
I mean, there better be some
We
sharks
do
out
it
there
every
that
day
freaking
on
watch
I do it
those
every
domain
time.
names. Because it was like, I mean, it was just right in the wheelhouse. And within 5 minutes, we had 2 of them that were like, these would be ones you could go after. And it was like, I mean, there wasn't anything complicated about that process.
On the replay page under the video, there's like a webinar notes, like timestamps of when I talked about different types of things. And on the bottom, when I went and found those keywords, because what happened there is we were talking about, the people who believe that, lead gen or keyword research is saturated and all the good stuff's already gone. And I was like, no, it isn't. It's just like, if you believe that, it's just you have a lack of understanding of a better process, right? So I showed people how to, and I challenged them in a really cool way. I said, look, I'm going to find a keyword. Before I ever did it, I said, you guys suggest a niche to me, and I'll go find a keyword that's profitable, meaning it's got search volume and it's like in a high competition, or not a high competition, a high value niche. And I'll make sure it's easy to rank. And I'll find this live on the webinar. And I found it in less than 5 minutes. And I showed everybody the domain names are available to register as an EMD, which is an instant ranking boost. And I can do that process. I could literally, if I had an hour, I could go out and find 50 keywords that would make for great lead gen sites. If I had clients, I would do the same process for my client. These are the keywords you need to be targeting. You know what I mean? And this is the way you need to be targeting. So, I mean, it's this niche and this market is not saturated. I think people just need to expand their minds a little bit. And like, that's what we did. And that's how we develop our tools from that mindset. Like, how can we do things different than the way everyone else is doing it? Because they all feel like SEO is dead or keyword research is saturated. It's like, well, you just need to do things differently than everybody else and you'll get a different result than everybody else.
I think there's like a progression, right? There's a progression of search engine optimization. There's a progression. Google is always updating their algorithm, right? They're putting different checks and balances in place all the time. That's why I hear about these updates that will make websites go to the bottom of the results or go to the top, So our job as people that do optimize websites is to try to test and figure those things out. The problem with that is if you've ever tried to do SEO before, is you will find yourself in a place, tell me if you can all relate to this, with dozens of spreadsheets, tried to be like organized in Dropbox folders and Google Drive folders with tons of different browser tabs in 30 different windows with all these different tools, trying to duct tape your analysis into one fine point, and you're copying and pasting things to make it all kind of synonymous on all your pages and all those things, which is where you can really miss out on a lot of the value. And I think the problem that your tool solves is really, number one, that problem of staying organized at scale, right? Because you can manage so many sites all at once in the same place and optimize everything all together all at once in the same place, rather than having to do it like individually, which can become crazy. But also it adds this element of like analysis to everything, which is the biggest piece. If you're in a competitive space for doing search engine optimization, like we're talking about, where you want to look at your competitors and see what they're doing and try to do it better. That's like the base level foundation of trying to outrank somebody, right? But having a tool like this, especially something that is built like it's new, it's cutting edge, it's fresh. You're able to look at your competitors that do not have this type of Tesla technology, right? You can go to the drag strip with your car and you have a supercharger in your car, and your competitors do not have a supercharger. That's what this tool does for your websites, for your clients' websites, for whatever you're doing. So it just gives you that competitive edge because you have the analysis, you have the scale, You have all of the guides and all of the optimization features that you've built into it. But I'm curious, from everybody that's here with us, like who actually has tried to do search engine optimization for themselves before, or for their clients? Put a 1 in the comments of the chat if you try to do it, and put a 2 if you're looking at SEO, you haven't done any of it before, it's a profitable thing, you're on the fringe, you're interested in it. Because I know for everybody that's a 2, part of the issue from becoming a 1 is not knowing where to start and how to start. And I can tell you that from my personal experience, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I started doing SEO. And today, I would, if I had to guess, I would say 60 to 70, maybe even 80% of the revenue in my agency right now is all recurring SEO invoices, right? We're at like $35,000 this month from like recurring revenue in the agency, where I spend like this month specifically, I probably spent like 10% of my time working in that company because of all the other stuff we've had going on in Offline Sharks. But I think the reason that people have a difficult time getting into it is because it's confusing and they don't know where to start. And I think, if you haven't seen that training case study, you should check it out, because that really helps you get a place to start.
Yeah. And another, I thought, thing that was super impressive, Herc, that you did was after you went through this whole process and you showed how you use this tool to build all these things, then you like dropped this bomb at the end of the presentation where you were like, oh yeah, and you can use this tool to audit a website. I was like, what? And then he just like all of a sudden pops in this URL and bam, he had all the pages of the site, all the SEO, like everything right inside the tool. It was impressive. So like Nick said, if you're in a place where you're like, well, why is this site doing well? Like you could pop it in there and you would see exactly why they're doing well. Like what a great way to learn.
That was just a natural progression. Like I said, like if you think back to what I said earlier about how my story started with all this, it started with a process that I did on a manual spreadsheet. I eventually developed a software. Then I met Todd, and now we're here at this. And so that's just a natural process of things. And that audit function was just the next logical thing to do with the software, because on the case study, everything was, here's how I would start from scratch, right? And realizing that whenever I thought of like building this audit function, I was like, well, there's a lot of people that aren't starting from scratch. They have existing clients or they have existing websites, and they need to know, where do I stand with my SEO? And so what we did is we built that one-click audit function that literally pulls all the optimization elements of your entire site, all your pages or posts or the ones that you select. It'll pull them into a single view where you can look at them and edit them. But we're like, let's take it a step further. Let's also pull in all the keywords that you're ranking for on each page and tell you, hey, here's where you're ranking for these keywords on that page. And once we got that function built, it's not live yet. It's going to be live next week. I've been using it obviously as the first level tester. But I've been going around buying up lead gen sites recently. And the first thing I do is I throw the audit on the lead gen site. And once I see that audit report, like my mind was really blown at the power of the audit function, because I'm like, wow, I'm ranking for a lot of keywords on the wrong pages, which means my site's being cannibalized. Google doesn't know if they should send traffic to this page or to that page because they're both targeting a similar subject. So I can look at all the keywords, reorganize the keywords, drag in everything and say, this page needs to target this group, this page needs to target this group, and then re-optimize with focus the way that I taught on the webinar, and just increase my rankings just by doing that and doing that with an audit. And then of course down the rabbit hole we go, right? Well, this is a service I could sell to a client. I could go into any conversation I have with a person who's at all interested in having their website, be help with their online marketing. I can say to them, hey, listen, why don't you just let me run an audit for your website? I can within like 20 minutes, I can tell you where your opportunities lie and where your problems are. And then I just click that one button, it just pops it in there, and it's just it's such a powerful feature. It's unbelievable. I was actually working on one for westpalmbeachrepair.com. You guys can go look at it. I was auditing and fixing up that website today. I just bought that a couple of weeks ago and finally got it around to start to audit it.
And you said that feature will be live when?
Next week.
Next week, yeah. So it's coming super fast.
It's coming right away, yeah. We just want to make sure that it works really well.
I think a lot of people, as soon as you said that, I mean, I had the connection. So this is why I think a lot of people have this connection too. As soon as you said that about seeing the cannibalization of these websites and the pages and having the ability to see a view of all of it, like in a higher level view, it just like clicks and you're like, oh shit, I think I have like 5 or 10 websites I need to go back to right now that would love to take advantage of that feature by itself.
Oh, it's crazy good.
Yeah,
and I'll
the
tell
beautiful
you,
thing of that too, I believe, is that you can see what your clients' websites are ranking for on page 2, 3, and 4 that they didn't even know about.
That's a good
And
point
all
too.
it takes is just a little bit of optimization, move that keyword over into another group that fits. Maybe it's just out of place a little. Maybe it's on the wrong page. Like that keyword is ranking on the wrong page, and then just edit that description title, a couple of edits, and then boom, it should shoot right up.
yeah, and I can give an example of cannibalization that I see a lot in audits. So like this West Palm Beach AC repair one that I'm working on right now. Okay, so the main subject matter obviously is West Palm Beach AC repair, but then there's repair,
Hey, Herc,
there's
can
installation.
you share your screen and show them what it looks like in the tool?
Ooh, yeah, I guess I could.
You don't have to. We can do something different.
I
Did I just
will.
throw a huge wrench in there?
You guys get ready to take a screen capture of his crypto wallet.
Get ready to be here for a little bit
I
longer
just
too.
asked you to give your PIN number. I'm like, hey, can you throw your social security number up there real quick so people can?
Yeah. Let me hide all my cool shit.
Tom, can we wait? Who wants the replay to this? Who wants to see this case study? Because I saw a couple people asking for it. Actually, there were a couple people who were like, I can't wait to see this, kind of begging for it. But I think a lot of people already own it, right? A lot of people, since our promo, like since we showed everybody about it, like a lot of people just joined. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's tons of people have jumped. I mean, once you see it, you'll be like, oh man, like just what it gives you the ability to do. And even if you're somebody who's doing websites, but you're looking to branch into recurring revenue with SEO, like you don't even need to watch the case study. Just go to the link and like first of all, you'll get immediate value out of it just in your ability to organize. Like you can organize and have like 100 websites in the tool where you can instantly update all your plugins.
I love that feature.
Like all from one dashboard. You can do backups. You can do like the other thing that I thought was great is like, you know how like if you need to change like links and pages, like you have to go to every page and change stuff. Like with this tool, you have like a drag and drop view of all your pages and you drag them the way you want and you just hit execute and it automatically updates everything in WordPress. It executes the command on one scale and changes all the links and updates it across your site. So like if you're working with multiple clients and stuff like that, like especially if you're doing websites, you'll get value out of it without the SEO stuff. But then you add in the SEO, the SEO components to it with being able to do the keywords and the cloud optimization and the schema and all that stuff. Then it's like, holy cow. But you'll get value right away, even if you're not currently offering SEO to your clients, just from that management aspect of it, of the sites.
Yeah, the silo builder is really, really badass to understand your internal linking structure. And your internal linking structure is, the next best thing to your on-page optimization, because Google's not going to penalize you, hardly at all for your internal linking structure. But if you don't have it done right, then you don't get any value from it. But when you have it done right, you get a lot of value from it, and Google will boost you up.
Holy crap.
This is the silo builder.
Holy crap. Tom, can you put the link? Because people definitely can you show a link? So don't go there right now, everybody. Just open this up in another tab. Stick with us for a second. So Herc, we don't have too much time.
That's the silo builder, but I really wanted you to show them what it looks like when you're looking at the site in the.
Let me just show the audit. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'll show you guys why the audit's important. So I bought this site, okay, West Palm Beach AC Repair, because the guy said I'm ranking number X for this keyword. I looked up the data and everything. I was like, okay, you are ranking there. Okay, I want to go get it and see what else is happening. So here's what I did. Okay, I bought the site. I installed Zagio on it. I'm going to do this Tom and Nick audit. Okay, because I need to get a starting point in my mind. I'm like, where's this site really at? Is it doing good? How good is it doing? What needs to be done to it? Okay, so I click audit website. Let me refresh here. So I create that project, I click audit website, and it automatically says, what site are you auditing? The one I'm on, right? So start operation. And this is what it does. It goes out and this is how fast it happens. Okay. Each one of these blocks represents a page on my website or a URL that may not be on my website anymore. And it tells me here's what the optimization elements of each of those pages are. Now, if I expand keyword groups, it'll also tell me, okay, here's a bunch of keywords that you're ranking for. So this is the home page. It's saying, look, you're ranking for all these keywords at this position. So I ran this and I was like, shit, I bought a really good site here. He only said he was ranking for the main keyword, West Palm Beach AC repair. But then I saw all this, right? And I'm like, this is when I started looking at keyword cannibalization. When we talk about that keyword cloud, this is the cloud, right? So what it does, it's obviously I'm ranking for a ton of stuff. And what it does is if I click on the word repair, right? For instance, it highlights every time in the list of keywords that I want to be targeting where the word repair is. Now, repair, service, HVAC, installers, like there's so much cannibalization going on here. The homepage is targeting or attempting to target to rank for too many keywords, and Google's confused, right? So I need to like move the keywords that I want to target onto a specific page. So I just start moving stuff around, and that's the audit function, right? So here's where I'm at right now. So today, right? So there's my home page. I only want to target these keywords, right? And then when I cloud optimize, it's way cleaner. So let's just look at my title. The main keyword that I want to target, West Palm Beach AC repair. I always say put your main keyword that you want to optimize for first in your title. The back half is where you use all the rest of these words that are showing up. So let's look at it all from a sentence view here. West Palm Beach AC repair, 24-hour air conditioning service. And then I added near me because I know from my audit there was a whole bunch of near me keywords that I was ranking for, so I should put that on my homepage. It wasn't there. This is a re-optimized homepage. And then our services page, I did all the services, I re-optimized everything. I know what I'm trying to rank for. I still have to go do additional keyword research for the other pages. And then I used the silo builder because he just had a bunch of orphaned pages that are like, no man, these need to be like, you can see the URL structure here, West Palm Beach AC repair, air conditioning, installation replacement. So I have services pages, I have locations pages, and it just makes it easy, right? Here's all my locations. It makes it easy I can optimize all of these location pages right from here. I don't have to go page to page to page. I could do all my keyword research right here and make all my decisions just like I did on that homepage. So it makes doing SEO for a big site that's already there really, really good with this audit function because it'll tell you all your strengths, all your weaknesses, and it's super easy to update an entire website from one place rather than the old way of page to page to page to page. So this audit function is live next week, but it's baller. It's so good. It's making it so easy to optimize this website.
Wow.
There, cool. I did it short.
That's incredible. You save so many. I mean, there's so many tools there that it's just all built into one. Super impressive.
Yeah, I don't want to even talk about Silo Builder, but it's rad.
Watch the case study.
Watch the case study.
You talk about like Silo Builder and like really targeting how you built the site from the ground up and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, what's really super impressive about what you did in that case study is, again, 19 keywords, page 1, 5 backlinks. But again, when you look at like I mentioned earlier, it's really like turned, SEO on its head because you don't have better domain authority. You don't have better page authority. You don't have more backlinks than the guy ranking number 1, yet you were able to beat all those people. Because I like the way you say it, Hurt, because you built everything from the ground up with intention, right? Like so many things you see with people doing with SEO or just in business in general, they're just kind of doing because that's what they heard they're supposed to do. Like, oh, I heard I'm supposed to have 60%, I heard I'm supposed to keyword stuff. So I keyword stuff, right? Like they don't really, there's really nothing behind it. There's no real intention or solid strategy behind it.
Focus.
Yeah, and focus. And your process is super intentional, super laid out. And again, even if you're not going to do SEO, even if I mean, it was an awesome deal you guys made for the tool and all that stuff. But even if you don't do that, like, you should go watch the thing just for the process and starting to get a feel for what that looks like and how a good SEO approaches a problem like that of ranking and all those kinds of things. So.
And there's one other thing I want to talk about when people are optimizing their websites. I know a lot of people that when they're trying to improve their rankings, the method they're using to do it is buying more links. They're spending money, right? I need more links. I need more links. Trust me on this, guys. Optimization is so huge and so important and free, right? Most people are missing out on it. You don't need more links. Go look at your optimization first. Make sure you're fully optimized for every page on your website. Make sure you're doing those steps right. And just doing that, I think you'll get bigger ranking increases than going out and buying a bunch of links. If it only takes me 5 links to rank a catering company in Stamford, Connecticut, where all the other local businesses have like 30, 40, 50, 100 links, it's because of optimization that I'm able to do that. And that's the biggest key to all this. And you said something earlier, Tom, like the way we're doing things is like really new. And to be honest, it's not that new. I'm not even that good of an SEO. I'm good at core fundamentals. I think I'm just good at core fundamentals. What I am good at is taking like a complex idea and building a tool that helps simplify that process, right? And that's kind of like, I'm so good at spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. And that's where I think my advantage over things has happened. Like I was able to build a software that helps demystify this process and simplify the process, because Keyword Cloud Optimization makes it very obvious. These are the keywords I'm targeting. This is what I should say. It removes guesswork, right? And it gets results for zero budget. It's free to optimize your website. So the first step, go optimize your websites.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say. I would do. Like for those of you that are looking to get into SEO, that is exactly what I'd do. I would get this tool. I would use it on my own site. Would cut my teeth on the whole process. Get familiar with how it works. The best place to start is by optimizing your own site, because once there's no risk there, right? You're not optimizing somebody else's business and potentially like not doing something correctly, right? But once you get the process down, you go through it for yourself, and you gain some confidence on your own website, you have 2 things happen. Number 1, you start ranking your site, which anybody that, has a site that's ranking for like SEO Maui or terms near them, marketing terms in their little local area, knows that you'll get customers coming to you from just having your site up and ranking. And those are arguably the easiest leads to ever deal with, because they're looking for your service. So we get a lot of leads that just come to us because we're ranking for SEO. So you get that, right? You get that benefit of ranking your site, opening more doors to your business, but you also learn this valuable skill in the process that can make you a ton of money. I mean, the skill of learning search engine optimization is so freaking valuable. And once you start to realize that you have the power to do that, I mean, and you can start offering it to the market, it's such a valuable thing. So, and it's a very marketable skill. So,
yeah, I was just going to say there, I'm glad you mentioned the word fundamentals, because if you're wondering like, well, am I going to do all this stuff and then Google's going to change the game and I'm going to lose all this work I did? Like the things that what you do here helps with, like, these are the fundamentals. These, like, you can't get slapped for doing the fundamentals, right? Like, this is all super white hat above board. Like, you don't have like any, like, this is all the stuff that you can feel like, not only will you not get like any kind of penalties for it, but you can feel good that you're doing a real service for your clients and your sites by implementing these things, because it's the best practices, the things that are supposed to be there from the get-go. So
yeah, and the other thing too is, like, people ask, do these last? I know everyone always talks about stick, through, and the reason they're like, do these last, because of the amount of Google updates that have happened. So the first time I ever released, or I call it a rank and rent method, where I built a site, ranked it, got it generating phone calls, then you approach companies. That was back in 2015. I wrote a PDF guide on rank and rent, and it was built on another over-the-shoulder process of me building and ranking the site poolresurfacingphoenix.com, which that's what, 7 years ago now, and that's still ranking number 1 to this day. And I haven't done anything to it. I only built a handful of links to it to get it there once again, and it's still 7 years later, and it's still ranking there. until someone comes along for that specific keyword and does a better job than me, I'm gonna be winning. And so yes, it does stick, and that's why I don't get hit by these penalties. I'm not doing anything against. Well, I am doing stuff against Google TOS, like I use PBNs for instance.
But what isn't against Google's terms of service?
Well, I mean, unnatural link building is very against Google's terms of service, right? But I mean, the thing about the PBN guys, and I'll tell you this because I use PBNs, right? A lot of people say if you're going to use PBNs, because we all know they work, right? I don't care who you are, PBNs work.
They definitely work.
But you can't start with PBNs. You have to build these trust fortresses and social signals. That's absolute bullshit, okay? I rank all my sites with 100% pure PBNs, but I'm only building 5 PBN links. Do you think Google gives a shit about a site that only has 5 links going to it? I'm so far under the radar. I'm not in the e-cig market. I'm not in the weight loss market, right? I'm targeting local clients. So I use PBNs because they work. Now, if I didn't want to use PBNs because I was working with a client, fine. I could go build real citations, real directories, PRs, white hat links. I'd get the same result because I have awesome optimization. Optimization first, guys, right? What's the point of building links if your site's a damn mess in Google's eyes? They're like, I don't know what this site's about. I don't know what this page is about. You know, it could be about this or that. Get that right first and save a ton of money and time on backlinks.
Yeah, do not get clients and then go buy Backlink Blaster to boost them to the first page.
No. Stay away from that. Stay away from that.
I've talked to a lot of guys in the past. They're like, oh, I just picked up a new client and I got to go in there and disavow all the dirty links that the other SEO company pushed to their site, trashed them, they fired them, and now I got to go clean it up. Yeah. And less is more on backlinks. You do your on-page optimization, like the process with Zagio and Hertz process, and wait. And you will be amazed at how many of those will automatically rank on page 1 or page 2, right? Page 1 and page 2, see what's there, and then maybe, look at buying a secure, nice link of some sort, or build a nice PBN like Herc has and many others, and that's just work. And do not add a bunch at one time. Wait, see what happens. Patience is key as well.
Here's one more thing. Sorry, like there's a million ideas flying through my head right now. But for all you guys with clients out there or trying to get clients to sign on with you, client SEO is a tough sell for clients because they're risking their money up front for a promise of results later on. And that's always been my challenge. When I ran my agency, that was the number one objection that I got from clients is like, you want me to pay you now and I'm not going to get results.
Because they've been burned so many times.
Right? Or it's just a scary proposition, right? What if it doesn't work? I'm paying you all this money. But here's the thing, guys. You could go run an audit. Say, if I was to take clients on again, I'd say, listen, just let me optimize 3 of your most important pages. I'd run an audit on their site. I'd re-optimize 3 of their most important pages. I'd get them hooked up to Webmaster Tools. I'd re-index those pages. I'd track the rankings before, right? I'd say, here's where you're at right now. Here's your audit. I'm going to optimize your pages, re-index to Google so that it refreshes, watch the rankings change. And that should only take like a week, not even sometimes. Sometimes when you do the Search Console, everything refreshes really fast. The rankings will refresh with the optimization changes. Okay, did I do my job? Can I get your business now, right? You de-risk the situation with adding value. And this is one of the ways you can do it really, really easily for a client.
And it costs you near zero to do that. And just a little bit of time.
That's an awesome strategy.
A bit of time, yeah. And it's fast, right? The nice thing about this is it's fast. It's a lot faster than building a bunch of links and waiting God knows how long for them to index. You could re-optimize the site, submit it to Webmaster Tools, and have that change live in 24 hours and see the change in your rankings. It's free and it's fast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You'll see results.
Yeah. Well, look, if you guys haven't, as soon as this live's over, head over, watch the case study replay, offlinesharks.com/easy SEO. You guys are going to love it. The process is awesome. I did want to answer this question from Norm too, because Norm, so one thing I would say about this is it's a tool to help you with the processes that you're doing, right? So my recommendation for you would be, if you're going to get a tool like this, your end goal would be to have someone on your team that's running this tool for you, doing the optimization, right? So you may want to get it and do it in the beginning, but Norm, your end goal should be to be able to hand this off to someone on your team so that you're not doing the work yourself. So, I think for your specific situation, because I know Norm for his specific situation, I think that would be the best way to go with that. So don't look at it as an either or, like we're going to lay this on top of what we're doing and then my team's going to handle that. So
yeah, it's not a magic pill. I don't want anyone to think you're going to install Zagio and run an audit and boom, good things are going to happen. Okay,
you're going to have to do a few
pill
things, but it makes it easy.
Yeah, it makes what you have to do easy. It makes it have intention, right? So just like spend a little bit of time learning how to do it and get good at it. And then if you understand how it works, then teach it to the person that's actually going to do it in your company.
Yeah. And the whole software comes with training on how to use the software. There's also a library of some other trainings on SEO and stuff that you guys include. I know there's a couple of bonuses there and a price discount for sharks that jump in early. So it was an awesome case study. We loved having you guys on there. If you haven't already went and checked it out, go do that as soon as this live is over. Todd Hurt, thanks so much for hanging out with us. And Nick, we got to give away one more time. We need to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Nick, who's our winner?
Our winners are, hold on, let me pull it up. Our winners are Patty Rakowski and Jeff Carelius. Thank you for congratulating our shout outs. And also, this is, congratulations, everybody. I saw a question come through, people asking if this works on Groove. Does this work on Wix? This is a WordPress plugin. This is specifically for that. So, which, by the way, if you're doing SEO, is the only platform you want to be working on anyway. So it's the only one that really matters.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Todd Hurt, thanks again for joining us today. I know we went a little over, but it was so good. We were talking about so much stuff. That's awesome. No, it's all good. Hopefully some of you sharks are going to be in New York. You'll get to meet, you're going to New York, right, Todd?
I am. I'll see you next Thursday or Friday, Nick.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you guys will get to hang out with Todd there. And we will see you next week on the Aloha Marketing Friday Jam session. Same shark time, same shark channel. If you have any questions, hit us up in the Facebook group or go to offlinesharks.com/support and go check out the case study replay at offlinesharks.com/easy SEO. With that, I'm going to cue the exit and we'll see you guys next week. Aloha, everybody.
Everybody.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.